Hello, kindergartners. This is our week 4 ELA lesson. We're going to be comparing and contrasting texts again under the topic, Under the Sea. Remember from last week when we did compare and contrast, we're talking about how two texts are the same and how they're different. So you're going to get extra practice with that this week with books about under the sea. Let's do some word work first. So what are we going to learn in this lesson? First, we're going to practice how we pronounce sounds in the beginning, middle, and the end of words. And we're going to play some games changing those sounds to make new words. Let's give it a try. So first, let's start with changing the beginning sounds. So if I have this word, that's right, it's run. What's the beginning sound you hear in run? Did you say r? Good job. So if I change that to a B, now what word do I have? That's right. Now I've got b-un, bun. Let's change that beginning sound one more time. Let's change the B to an F. Now what word do I have? Now I've got f-un, fun. Super job. Let's read all three of those words with me. We've got run, bun, and fun. Job. Let's try another one. What's this word? You're right, it's hat. So what do you hear at the beginning of hat? That's right, huh, at. So let's change that beginning sound. Let's change that H to a B. Now what word do we have? What sound does B make? B, at, bat. Good job. Now let's change that B. Let's change it to a different beginning sound. Oh, I change it to an S. What does S sound like? S. So now what word do we have? At. Sat. Great job. So let's read all three words together. We've got hat, bat, sat. Let's try one more. Ooh, a tricky one. What is this word? M-ix. Mix. What beginning sound do you hear in mix? That's right. Ix. Let's change that beginning sound. You ready? Let's change it to an F. What does F sound like? F. All right, let's add that to ix. F. Ix. Fix. Fantastic. All right, let's change that beginning sound again. Let's change it to an S. You know what an S sounds like. S. Ix. Six. Super job. All right, let's read all those words again. Either read with me or echo me. You ready? Mix. Fix. Six. Awesome job, readers. Changing the beginning sound. All right, let's try something new. Let's change the beginning sound, but this time we're going to write it. Okay? So I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to push pause, and this is the word, that's right, pot, pot. Can you think of other words that rhyme with pot, have ot in them, but you're going to change the beginning sound? Can you write at least one word? Pause the video. All right, let's see what you came up with. All right, so we have pot. What if we change P to a G? We've got. Or we could change it to a T and we've got taught. Or we get super fancy and put sp in front of ot. Spot. Or we could change the P to an L and you've got lot. Did you do any of those words? Super job. All right, you saw my other words sneak up here. Let's try this word. We've got jet. Jet. Could you change that beginning sound and come up with a different word? Push pause and write down a new word changing that beginning sound. All right, you're back. Let's see what you came up with. Did you find any of the words I found? Let's try this one. I changed the J to a G. Get. What if I change it to an M? Met. Met. Or I can change it to an S. Set. Or I can get fancy and put an FR in the front of it. Fret. Fret. That means worry. Don't worry. You're doing such a great job. All right, let's do this word. You know this word because it's got a sight word in it, IT. 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 Change that beginning letter S to a different letter. What word can you make? Pause the video and write down a new word. All right, you want to see if you got any of my words? Let's try it. I changed the S to a B and got bit. What if I change it to a K? It. Kit. Or if I change it to a P? It. Pit. Or, I got super fancy. Q and U together. It. Quit. Look at you making new words just by changing the beginning sounds. Let's do some work with the middle sound. You know what this word is because it goes with the picture. This is cat. But if I take away the A and put a different letter here, I change the word to go with this picture. What is this? Did you say cut? Fantastic. So what vowel do I need to put in here? K-ut. You're right, a U. See how we change that middle sound? It changes the word altogether. Let's try another one. You know what this word is because it goes with the picture. That is dog. But if we take away the O and change it to a different letter, we have a word that goes with this picture. What can you do with a shovel? Oh, dug. I dug a hole with the shovel. So what letter would I change the O to? D-ug. That's right, a U again. All right, let's try this one. Look at this shark. And it has this word that starts with F. I bet it goes with this right here. In, fin. So if I change the I to a different letter, I have a different word that goes with this picture. You're right, that's a fan. So let's change fin to an. What letter would I put there? A. Fantastic. Great job changing the middle letters to make a whole new word. Let's do the ending sounds. Okay, so take a look at this picture. What sound do you hear at the end of this? Cone. You're right, an N, cone. But check out this word. This is the word cone. Oh, that's that magic E, doesn't make any sound. Sneaky, sneaky. Let's keep going. Look at these noodles. They're sitting on this thing right here. What is this thing? That's right, it's a plate. What sound do you hear at the end of plate? A T. But look at this word. It has a magic E too. Plate. And that sneaky E that doesn't make any sound at all. Ooh, what is this? I know you know that's a lion, but what is the shaggy stuff along the lion's head? Do you know what that's called? That's called a mane. What sound do you hear at the end of mane? You're right, a N. But look at this word. You guessed it, it's a sneaky E, right? Mane. Sneaky, sneaky. Look at that cute little hamster. He's so cute. And he's sitting in this thing. What is this thing called that you put a hamster in? Did you say cage? Let's see, this is the last one. I'm going to trick you. What sound do you hear at the end of cage? You're right. It is a J. And it sounds like that could be the letter J, but it's not a J. There's another letter that makes the sound J. Do you know what letter that is? Let's see if you're right. This is the word cage. Did you say G? G is a crazy letter. It makes two sounds, a G and a J. And there's that magic E. So let's have you try. You're going to change the ending sounds and you're going to practice writing new words. Okay, so we have this word, run. Let's change the ending sound, the last letter there. Can you make a new word? Push pause and see if you can make a new word by changing that last sound. All right, you're back. Let's see what you made. Did you find any of my words? Oh, I'm going to give you a hint. Those are our next words. Oh, I changed N to G. Now what word do I have? Ugh, rug. Or if I change it to a T, now I've got rut. Ooh, let's get fancy and put a sh at the end of it. Ush. If you got that word, I'm mighty impressed. And the other one, what if I put a B instead of an N? Rub. Super job, readers. All right, you're going to do it again. Here's this word. That's not a B. Don't say sab. That's a D. Sad. Let's change that last letter and make a new word. Pause the video and see if you can write at least one word by changing that last letter. All right, let's see what you got. Did you find any of my words? I changed the D to a T. Now I have at. Did you find that word? Or what if I change it to a P? Now I've got sap. We're changing it to a G, sag. Ooh, I got crazy with the SH. Shh. So now I have sash. Good job. If you got that one, I'll be mighty impressed. All right, let's do this last word, hit. Can you change the last sound, that last letter, to make a new word? Pause the video. All right, this is the last one, the best one. Let's see what you got. I changed the T to an M, and now I've got the word him. Here's the D. I changed that T to a D. Now I have hid. Or if I change it to a P, hip. Ooh, and this one I had to add 2 L's because that's what to make this word. I've got hill. Great job changing the ending sound to making new words. All right, so let's move on to reading for today. So remember, we're comparing and contrasting under the C. You're going to be able to identify basic similarities and differences, how two texts are the same and how they're different. And you're going to be collaborating with a partner. Collaborate means work with a partner. And if you don't have a partner, I'll be your partner. And we're going to collect information about the sea. Okay, so let's start. This is the first text that we're going to be reading. It's called Under the Sea. And I know this is informational because it has real photographs. So I'm going to be getting information. This is not going to be a story, a made-up story. So I'm going to be thinking about information that I'm going to learn about under the sea. Here we go. Okay, when I read informational, I'm going to be let me see if I can think of 3 things that I've learned. So while we're reading together, think about 3 things you learned about the sea while we're reading this informational text. Let's go explore the sea. Let's look at some things you can see. You can see coral. Coral has many colors. Fish like to live in coral. Oh, I see coral right here, and coral right here, and all the fish living inside of it. You can see an octopus. It has 8 tentacles. Do you know what tentacles are? No, there's 8 of something in that picture. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's 2 right there. 8. The tentacles are arms. The octopus has 8 tentacles. You can see jellyfish. They have beautiful colors. The sea is very big. There's so much that you can see. So since this is informational, can you think about 3 things that you learned? You know, you can always look back in a book and look at the pictures and remember, and even looking at the words, there are 3 things that you learned. Remember, we said we were going to collaborate with a partner If you have mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, someone sitting with you, tell them 3 things you learned about this book. Pause the video. Or I'll be your partner too. Did you say that you learned that octopuses have 8 tentacles? Or that there's lots of beautiful coral in the sea? Or that jellyfish have many bright colors? Those were 3 things that we learned in informational text. It's important not only to read words, but to understand them too. All right, let's look at our next text. This one's called A Swim in the Ocean. Ooh, these pictures are way different than the other book. These looks like somebody drew them, or maybe even made them on a computer. I wonder if this is informational. Usually pictures that are like a cartoon are fake. It's a fake story. Let's see. This one's called A Swim in the Ocean, written by Khalid Moon and illustrated by Mohammed Zahar. Remember, while we're reading this book, we're going to be thinking about how this book is the same and how it's different than the book we just read, Under the Sea. We're going to compare and contrast when we're done. Okay? Here we go. Hannah went for a swim in the ocean. What did she see? She saw an X-ray fish swimming with an octopus around some coral. The octopus had 8 tentacles. The coral was bright and colorful. Ooh, there wasn't an X-ray fish in the other book, but there was an octopus and coral. Hannah saw many jellyfish. The jellyfish were different colors. Watch out for their tentacles, Hannah. The tentacles can sting. Ooh, well, there were jellyfish in the other text that we read, but it didn't say that they had tentacles or that the tentacles sting. Even though this book has cartoony looking pictures, I'm still learning stuff about the ocean. Many animals live in the ocean. Some animals are big, some animals are small. Hannah saw many different fish. She even saw a seahorse. Ooh, there wasn't a seahorse in the other text, but there were different kinds of animals. There are many things to see when you swim in the ocean. What is your favorite thing to see? What is your favorite thing? I like the jellyfish to look at. I don't want to swim with them though. All right, so remember I told you we're going to compare and contrast? This is the same sort of graphic organizer we saw last week, but we changed the text. So today we read A Swim in the Ocean and we read Under the Sea. And we're going to be thinking about ways that they were the same and ways that they were different. Okay? I have some answer choices. Do you remember what we did last week? If it was the same, we said, same! And we moved it here to the middle, right? And if it was different, we said what book it went with, A Swim in the Ocean or Under the Sea. Let's give it a try. A book about things you can see in the ocean. Did they both have things you can see in the ocean? Or just one of them? You're right. Same! They both were books about things you can see in the ocean. Let's look at the next one. A book with real photographs. Do they both have real photographs? Nope. There's only one with real photographs, Under the Sea. So that's something that's different. This one had cartoony pictures. Somebody drew them or a computer did. Let's try this one. Has facts about coral and an octopus. Which book? Or did they both have facts about a coral and an octopus? You're right. Same! They both had facts about coral and an octopus. What about this one? A fiction story with real ocean facts. A fiction story. Fiction means fake. Fake story, but with real ocean facts. Yeah, you know which one that is. A Swim in the Ocean. Different. All right, a book with a seahorse in it. Which one had a seahorse? They didn't both have a seahorse in it. You're right. A Swim in the Ocean had a book with a seahorse. And our last one, a book with animals that have tentacles. Which book had animals with tentacles? Remember what tentacles are? Those long squiggly arms? Yes, you got it. Same! They both had animals with tentacles. What animals were they? You're right. Octopus and a jellyfish. Well done, my friends. You did such a great job comparing and contrasting two texts. It's super important to be able to compare and contrast, especially when you're learning things like we learned about things under the sea, because we can add to information we already know, and we can add to information that we read from two different books. So super job, kindergartners. So there's not an activity for you to submit for this part of the lesson. We did all the work together. The activity you're going to be submitting has to do with writing. So you're either going to go back online on Canvas and check out your writing activity, or stay tuned and you can do some writing with me. We're going to be making a bird book. Have a great day, kindergartners.